everybody, here for Love and Hip Hop Season 6, Episode 5, I believe this is. So let's get into it. It started out with, well, say hi. Oh, God, okay, girl. It started out with, Nyla. It started out with, where it ended last week with, after the fight between Mariah Lynn and Mo, and Lexi has just had it with Mo and her acting out and being selfish and whatnot. And she's like, you sitting up here fighting over Cisco, but Cisco couldn't even show up to your event on time to support you. And I'm like, tell it, Lexi. So, Ra is standing there and all of that asking Mo what happened. And Mo was like, oh, well, her drink went bye-bye. I will wash, drag, hang up, and all of that. And I'm like, Mo, shut up. So Rashida is like, you know what? If there was even a small inkling that I wanted to work with BBOD again, that went out the window because Mo is turning up at yet another event. And I'm like, you know what? Mo is just digging herself, like she's just burying herself in a hole with how she's acting and whatnot. So Cisco and Mariah Lynn are outside the club or whatever, and they're talking. First of all, their entire conversation was very cornballish, and she's talking about some. Excuse me, Miss BBO, whoever you are. I don't want to hear nothing about no more money, unless it's your money. You. She was like something like, I hope you ain't rocking with her no more. You rocking with me, and I'm just like, this whole conversation is just corny. So Cisco told me some, yeah, well, Mo acting up showed me a different side to her that I don't like. But on another note, Mariah Lynn held her own. I need a down trick like that in my life. And I'm like, yeah, two cornballs belong together. So yeah, get in the car and go on about your cornball business. So anyway, so Peter is hiding out in the studio. I don't care what nobody say, he hiding out. He talking about something, he can't deal with the drama between Amina and Tara, so his music is the only thing that brings him focus. BS, because I'm pretty sure that studio is that's your sanctuary and probably where you sleeping at right now because Tara and Amina both done with you. So anyway, they're in the studio and Tara comes in and she's like, well, I knew I'd find you here. And he's like, yeah, sorry. He's like, yeah, I just came here to do my music or whatever. So him and her have a talk, and Tara is like, I moved in under the pretenses that Peter and Amina were no longer together, and it just seems like Peter just sucks me in, back into his web of deceit and all this other stuff. And I'm like, Tara, any reason that you have like being involved with Peter, you always say it's for the kids, it's for the kids, it's for the kids. Stop BSing yourself. You still want to be around Peter. You like this drama, and that's why you continuing to stay stuck in it. So she talking about, well, my lease was up and you told me to move in because you said that you and Amina weren't together. You don't even have any type of respect for me and I have to raise your boys and I'm sitting up here taking so much from you and her and you don't even let me ingest it. You don't even let me ingest one situation to put more on me. And I'm like, Tara, see, with Tara, I felt her pain the first season that she came on, but now it's like I don't feel sorry for her because you keep putting yourself in this situation. You should have known from the get go that Peter asking you to move into that apartment complex to live in this on the same floor, in the same building, in the same neighborhood. You should have known something was sketchy. You should have known something was sketchy. So you were stupid for agreeing to do it. If you lived in Queens, then you should have stayed in Queens. Like I said in the other video I did, I'm pretty sure Peter has a car or a way to go and see his boys. He can see his boys whenever he wants to. Him not being around his boys every day is no excuse for him not to still use you and treat you the way he's treating you. You got to be a lot smarter than that because you are dumb. You and Amina, y'all are two different types of dumb. But anyway, so Yandy, a little short piece scene here. Yandy and Medici said that when they were en route to court, get out your mouth. When they were en route to court, his lawyer called and they said that they postponed his sentencing So he doesn't have a sentence date now. So he said he's just gonna live in the moment, like Yandy's been saying. And I'm like, poor Mendices. They keep his postponing your sentencing, but now we know your fate. 8 years. I feel so bad for him. I feel bad for that whole family. Yeah, I feel bad for them. So what? I know he did it to himself, but whatever. I feel bad when people, good people, get taken away their family like that. But, whatever. I mean, what can you do? You do the crime, do the time. But I'm just saying, I feel bad for them. Let me feel bad for them. Because the last time I said that, people jumped on me like, why are you feeling bad for Yandy and Mendices? They both put I'm like, because they're people. And I know Mendices is a good person. He probably wasn't a good person back then, but he's a good person now. Stop. He's a good person now. So, he's learning from his mistakes. But anyway, so, yay. So, what else happened? So, I'm trying to remember the episode step by step, but I don't even feel like doing that. Mariah Lynn is upset because she's trying to go to the studio, but when she's on her way to the studio, she gets a text stating that her mother got arrested for shoplifting. So she goes to bail her mother out, and she lets her mother know, like, come on, you keep doing this. You keep doing this. You always say I'm going to do better. You always getting into trouble, and I'm always bailing you out. Like, this has to stop. So she's like, her mother's like, I know it has to stop, but you don't understand. It's an addiction, and, you just wouldn't understand because it's something that I'm going through. And then there's other things I'm going through that's worse than this. And Mariah Lynn is like, what else could there be that's worse than this? Like, and she's like, you really want to know? She said, yeah, let's just put the cherry on top of the cake. Her mother said, I'm pregnant. When she said that, this was my face. Because first of all, if you saw this episode and you saw Mariah Lynn's mother, you were probably thinking the same thing I was thinking. I'm not going to say it out loud. I'm just going to look at the camera. Yeah. So I was like, whoa. So she pregnant and she shoplifting. So Mariah Lynn is like, well, how are you going to provide for another kid? And this is going to be my responsibility. Her mother's like, no, it's not going to be your responsibility. Maybe it'll help me grow up and see that I need to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm like, but you had 2 kids already. 2 kids, them other 2 kids ain't make you see that you need to grow up and get your stuff together. I'm just saying. So Mariah Lynn is pissed at her mother. She's like, I'm ready to wash my hands of you. If you don't stop, if you don't get your stuff together, I'm ready to wash my hands of you. I refuse to be my mother's mother anymore. And I'm like, you know what, Mariah Lynn? See, this is the side of you that I like. Not this phony facade it seemed like you putting on. This is the side of you that I like to see. Because, and like I said, it's good that they have these characters and these people who are playing a part on this show, but I like to see the real moments with them, and this was a real moment. So Mariah Lynn goes to take her mom to court for the sentencing and everything, and she's hoping that because she's already been in jail before that they don't just hit her with the book and just give her a bunch of time. So they're just trying to figure out what's gonna happen or whatever. So Mariah Lynn is just like, I'm hoping that they have mercy on her because she's pregnant, and I wouldn't want her to give birth to a baby in jail, no matter what. I love my mom. I know she's going through a lot, but I love my mom, and I just want her to be okay. So when they came out of the court, the judge said something about mandatory 90 days because she was going to do 90 days to pay Mariah Lynn her money back. And Mariah Lynn was like, there's no amount of money in the world that would want me to see you in jail. She said, but the judge had postponed her sentencing for a year from now, for a year from then because she's pregnant. So she's like, okay, well then she could give birth to the baby. She won't have the baby in jail, and then we could worry about that later. So, it was an emotional moment for Mariah Lynn, and she told her mom, I love you. I know you're going through what you're going through, but we're going to work it out or whatever. So it was nice seeing this side of Mariah Lynn this episode. So Young B goes to meet up with Yandy in the studio. Now, all right, the first situation that happened with Young B, I know it wasn't her fault. She was just, defending herself in that situation. But this was entirely Young B's fault. She comes into the studio an hour late. Now, mind you, she already treading on thin ice with Yandy. She comes into the studio an hour late, and Yandy is telling her, hey, listen, I gave you a second chance to prove to me that you're focused and you're ready, and you come in here late. What was the problem? And she's like, well, I was stuck in traffic. And she's like, well, because why? Because I was doing my hair and my makeup. And I'm like, really? You couldn't make up a lie, a good one at that? Like, you had to tell. I mean, I'm not saying it's not good to tell the truth. We all know it's good to tell the truth, but you don't tell a potential manager that, oh, I was late because I was getting my hair and my nails done, and my man came over and he sweated it out, so I had to get my hair. You don't tell. They don't care about that. And there's people who are not as nice as Yandy is, who will tell you straight up, listen, pleasure doing business with you. I'm done. And move on. So I'm like, oh gosh, young B. So then Yandy was like, you know what? Well, I have a friend who does an etiquette class, and I think you should take it, because the whole time Yandy was talking, young B had an attitude. And I'm like, how you going to catch an attitude? You deserve this lecture right now. You should have came on time. She wouldn't be lecturing you. So young B has the idea to go to the etiquette class with Cardi B. So she meets up with Cardi B at a Zumba class, and she tells Cardi B about the class or whatever, and she's like, well, my manager was like that I have a speech problem, and he made me take a speech class and whatnot. And I was just telling him, I don't have no accent. I'm just, I'm from the Bronx, and, I'm Puerto Rican. I think she Puerto Rican. Cardi B Puerto Rican, right? I don't know. She's just like, she doesn't feel like she needs to take a speech class because she don't have an accent. And I'm like, Cardi, you need to take a something class. You need all the classes in the world, because you are just as ratchet as I don't know what. So they agreed to go to the class together. First of all, why would anybody refer anybody to Tara? You can't have Ratchet teaching Ratchet 1 and Ratchet 2. Because, I mean, Tara could sit up here and play up this etiquette and I'm so proper situation all she wants to. She is just as hood and as ratchet as Cardi B and Young B. I'm just saying. But she's sitting up there trying to teach them, like, how to exercise their tongue and exercise their mouths and exercise their tongue. So Cardi B talking about something, well, my man is incarcerated. Yeah, she said incarcerated. I caught that. But she said, my man is incarcerated, and so I don't get to exercise my tongue all the time. I'm like, yo. Cardi B is a fool. She is a mess. So Tyra's just trying to teach them little things like how to drink the tea proper, how to talk proper. And I'm just sitting up here like, yo, this is a circus. They are a hot mess. And it's going to take you years to get these two girls straight. So, what else happened? I'm hoping I'm not leaving nothing out. Oh, well, Mo and Lexi. Lexi meets up with Tretch because Tretch is good friends with Mo's dad. And she's talking to Tretch about the situation with Mo and how she's feeling like Mo is selfish. Mo is always out for herself. Mo doesn't listen, And Tretch is just like, well, I'm pretty sure everybody that's been in a group has not always gotten along with their group members. But if you want to work together and be artists and, work together and be artists and be cool and whatnot, you need to listen to each other and you need to guide each other. So, Lexi is like, well, I think I should talk to her dad because I feel like her dad will be able to get through to her. So Tretch is like, yeah, that's a good person to talk to. He knows her personally. That's her dad. He'll tell you the real. So she goes to Pennsylvania to meet up with Mo's dad. And she's telling the dad that she feels like Mo is selfish. Mo doesn't listen. Mo is bringing the group down. And her dad is like, well, yeah, I can see that. Mo doesn't listen. She's hard-headed. She does what she wants to do. And she thinks it's fine. Can't nobody get through to her. So while they're having that conversation, Mo walks in with her mother and her sister. And Mo was like, I don't know why she's sitting here talking to my dad. She doesn't usually pop up unannounced. And, she's my sister. I don't mind her coming over, but there has to be a reason. So Lexi is like, well, I'm just telling your dad about the relationship and everything that's going on with us and how I've been feeling. So I just feel like you're selfish. I feel like you just care about yourself. So of course Mo gets defensive, and in the whole conversation, she don't even notice that she's saying I, me. And Lexi is like, see, that's what I mean. You're selfish. And her father is like, yeah, Lexi has a point. Now here come her mother. Oh, you causing a strain and a rift between the girls. I'm like, he ain't causing no rift. Your daughter's selfish. You can't be wrong and strong. That's what my mother always say. You can't be wrong and strong. So Mo is definitely wrong. And I'm like, everything Lexi's saying is the truth. So Lexi is just like, the conversation is, no, Mo is like, the conversation is about me. So that's why I'm saying me. I. And Lexi is like, you know what? I'm done. I'm going solo. And she's talking about let's be clear. This is Mo in the confessional. Let's be clear. I never needed anybody to be successful. I don't need Lexi. If Lexi want to go and be solo, then do what you have to. I'm like, Mo, you might not need somebody to be successful, but you need something to be successful, and that's called talent. Because I'm sorry, sister girl, you can't rap. I'm sorry. You can't rap. But anyway. So basically, the fate of the group is like up in the air because Lexi is just over it. But I agree with Lexi and I agree with the father. Every time something happens with them, it's always because of Mo. And every time Lexi tries to set things straight, Mo destroys it. So I'm with Lexi and I'm with her dad. So Amina meets up with Peter's daughter Whitney, and they're discussing Peter. And Amina is like, you know what? I had to make the tough decision to have an abortion because I didn't want him hurting our already daughter, and I didn't want to bring a baby into this situation. So, Whitney is like, my dad has a good heart, but when it comes to women, my dad has a problem. So, that decision, it's a sad decision, but it's you have to listen to your mind. And, Amina was like, I've been listening to my heart all this time. I still love Peter, but I can't accept the things that he's doing to me. So I have to listen to my mind for one. And I'm like, thank you, Amina. At least you kind of sort of got one up on Tara because, you got one up on Tara because you got the ring, but how you got the ring is ratchet. And then you and Tara is like the same level of dumb, just different. It's just a difference in y'all dumbness. So, thank God Amina is now hopefully, finally, thinking with her brain and not her heart. And even the daughter was like, I've seen what my father's done. He's hurt my mom. He's hurt me. And you would think at some point you would be able to get it, but I guess not with my dad. And I'm like, see, even his own daughter is saying he's full of crap. So, Amina, leave him alone. You got one child by him. Move on, girl. That man got a busload full of kids. Move on. I don't get how they be having babies by these dudes, man. They be having like thousands and thousands of babies by these dudes. And notice, he don't have a good relationship with none of his other baby mothers. What you thought was going to be different between him and you. But, that was basically the episode. This episode was okay. Cardi B is a fool. I'm just going to say that. She is a fool. But you know what? I can tell that this is a character that she's portraying, for likes. And, but I would really like to see the real Cardi B. And sidebar, somebody posted a video of her and some other dude. I think it was on YouTube or something, where she's rapping. And Cardi got a nice flow. She got bars. She don't really sound like how she sound on the show. That's why I'm like, I can't wait to see about the real Cardi B, like deep inside. But she might not even bring that side of her out. Who knows? But next week's episode looks like it's going to be crazy. We finally see Rashida and Remy, head to head. What else happens? Well, I forgot the rest of the episode. Oh, something with Tara, I think, telling Dr. Jeff that she pregnant or whatever. It's going to be bananas. But this episode was okay. But, like I said, I'm sorry that it's late. I'm sorry that this, review is late. It's been a busy week for me. But I am catching up, you guys. I did not forget. So, like, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend. And I'll see you guys next video. Later.